combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live, and we're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. And if you're brand new to the show, go check us out, JimmyRants.com. And it's a very unique show because it starts off on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, you need to go follow me right now at Livin' Low Carb Man. That's LIVINLOWCARBMAN. And then once you're there, you can actually engage in the content live, just like Beth and Bonnie Lene and all my usual suspects that are coming in here live today. Thank you for being here, guys. You can also watch it on the replay for up to 24 hours on Instagram. But if you're not the Instagram type, and I get it, not everybody is, you can also engage in the content on YouTube, where we archive all the past episodes of this here show. And then finally, if you prefer to engage in the content through audio and don't have to look at this mug every day, that's okay too. We do a Jimmy Rants podcast that has the best of the best highlights from this here show. Again, guys, JimmyRants.com is the website. Today's Jimmy Rants is one that happens every single year at the end of the year as we're about to go into a brand new year. And this is something that happens on an annual basis. It's almost predictable at this point. Well, let me back up. It's predictable at this point what's going to happen with this. So every single year, U.S. News and World Report, which... do people still buy magazines? I thought magazines were kind of a thing of the past. You know, newspapers, magazines, nobody reads those anymore. But apparently, U.S. News and World Report still does this annual list of the best diets, according to them. And guess what they decided to do with keto? They put it in dead last on the U.S. News and World Report's best diets. Guess what? This is a very good thing, and I'm going to explain why. So here is the headline, you guys. Best diets ranking puts keto in last place. Okay? So every single year since I've been blogging, which started in 2005, every single year, the low-carb diet, the Atkins diet, the paleo diet, all of the, and now keto, all of these have been in last place. Let me read you a little bit of what they say here. So they complain about the keto flu stuff that happens, the fatigue, the lightheadedness when you don't eat a lot of carbohydrates. And they said that it's good in the short term to go keto, but they ranked it last because of its long-term weight loss success, the lack of it being easy to do, and then its overall impact on your health. And here was the funniest line in the entire article. For the relatively new keto diet. All right, they need to follow my work because they would know keto is not new at all. Keto has actually been around since the term was invented in 1921. Did you know that? Ketogenic was actually coined in 1921 when this guy noticed that there was various substances in the patients that they fasted. And in that fasted state, they saw these ketone bodies. So he came up with a diet that would mimic the effects of fasting, thus a ketogenic diet. Okay? So this is not relatively new, and yet the idiot that wrote this article said that. And they're concerned about the extremely high fat content, 70% of daily calories, as well as unusually low carbohydrate levels, only 15 to 20 net carbs a day. And so here's the kicker, guys. You want to know why this is good news? It's good news because they predicate these rankings on the Dietary Guidelines. That's it. So it's based on the 2015 Dietary Guidelines. They're currently in the midst of updating them for 2020. But the 2015 guidelines, which were a low-fat, higher-carb style diet, that is the litmus test by which they determine the veracity of diets. So with the U.S. News and World Report looking at a ketogenic diet through the prism of the Dietary Guidelines, you know it's a very good thing if you came in last place. Because we know that Dietary Guidelines is so skewed. It's not based on science. It's not really based on efficacy. You think about the people that try to eat the food pyramid, and maybe they'll find success for a period of time. They'll will themselves into losing weight and showing certain signs of health. But at the end of the day, that diet is not sustainable for most people. And yet that's how they want to describe keto. So maybe you're going to get this news, you guys. And I know at the end of the year, and they've literally done this every year that I've blogged. Every year I've been a blogger and a podcaster, and people always get upset and they send me the article, oh no, why is low carb and Atkins and paleo and now keto, why is it in last place? I'm like, guys, when you think about what the criteria is for ranking and you see that it's the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, which we know is totally skewed, you don't get upset by this. Guess what the number one diet was? The number one diet was the DASH diet. That's the low-fat, the low-salt, so-called heart-healthy diet. It has been number one 8 years in a row. 8 years. Because, again, predicated on low-fat, high-carb, all the standard American healthy diet that's put out there by the USDA Dietary Guidelines Committee. So in this article, one of the nutritionists quoted, when you're on the keto diet, you drastically cut your carbs to only 20 per day. You can't even have one apple. How dare you? Because you know apples are just full. They're the only things that have nutrients in them is apples. She goes on to say, Lisa Dreyer says, the keto diet is just not sustainable over the long term. It doesn't teach you how to acquire healthy eating habits. Miss Dreyer, I have better healthy eating habits today than I ever have before because I'm not eating foods that are spiking my blood sugar levels, that are raising my insulin levels, that are making inflammation in my body worse. Those are the things that are unhealthy. So I have better healthy eating habits now, thanks to keto, than I ever have before. And it will be the way that I eat for the rest of my life because I know that it's given me these benefits. She goes on to say it's a good quick fix. And of course, when they say that, they're always referring to the weight loss because they know keto is effective for weight loss for most people. And so, oh, it's a quick fix. They don't want to acknowledge that there's any longer term effects. They only want to say it's quick fix because then you can say, oh, see, it's a fad diet. It'll help you lose weight fast, but it's unhealthy. And then here she says, but most people I know can hardly give up pasta and bread, let alone beans and fruit. That's called addiction. If you can't give up those starchy carbohydrates, those sugary carbohydrates, you are full on addicted. Addicted. And so most people I know, and how scientific of a response is that from a nutritionist, Lisa Dreyer? How scientific is it of you to say that most people I know can hardly? That is so anecdotal, and yet they throw that in our faces that any success you see on a ketogenic diet is all just anecdotal evidence. For you to say most people I know can't give up pasta and bread, let alone beans and fruit, what is that? That's anecdotal. The expert panel was particularly concerned for people with liver or kidney conditions who they say should avoid it altogether. So now they're giving medical advice. They always want to like throw at our face, oh, you can't get medical advice. They're telling people with liver or kidney conditions to just avoid it altogether. You don't need to avoid a ketogenic diet if you have liver or kidney conditions. Guess what gave you those conditions? A high-carb diet, a low-fat diet. All of these things that got worse in your health could be traced all the way back to your bad nutritional health choices. Maybe you went on the DASH diet, right? So if you're just joining us today on this Jimmy Rants, I am all fired up because the brand new U.S. News and World Report's Best Diets list came out. And guess what they put in last place? The most popular diet in the world right now, it's keto. And I'm saying this is a very good thing. But reading some of the comments in the article about this has got me riled up. All right, let me keep going. They said there's not enough evidence to know whether the diet would help those with heart issues or diabetes. Well, they need to get with the American Diabetes Association because they just came out, and I did a Jimmy Rants on this the other day. They just came out with their new guidelines, the ADA did. And they are now recommending a low-carb diet as a treatment option for people with type 2 diabetes. And heart issues, you see lower inflammation, you see lower triglycerides, higher HDL, lower small dense LDL. Every single cardiovascular risk marker of importance gets better with a ketogenic diet, and yet they want to pretend like you have heart issues or diabetes, you shouldn't do this. What bull crap, right? Because of the recommended cycling nature of the diet, taking breaks and then starting again, experts also warn that hormones could fluctuate. Who's taking a break? I mean, I know there is this movement within keto, some people talking about, you know, cycling in carbs to get in and out of ketosis. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of those people that says if you feel good in ketosis, stay in ketosis, never get out. You don't take breaks from ketosis. So I'm not sure where they got that from. So it goes on and on to talk about some of the other popular diets that are out there. But I wanted to share with you guys that they listed keto in last place. And that is nothing but a very good thing. All right, let's see what you guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Merry Christmas to you, Bonnie Lene. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, guys. It's opposite day, so keto is first. Haha, says Bonnie Lene. Yeah. Well, if the criteria was what actually makes you healthy, what actually improves health markers, keto would be very high on the list. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for being here. Keto for Life, Tracy. Hello, Keto Nana. Hello, Kitty Caddick. It's Darla Daisy says fake news. Well, it's real news, unfortunately, because a lot of people will be seeing the headlines that keto is in last place, and they won't even dig deeper as to see what the criteria is. I have dealt with this every single year. I've blogged about it. I've done podcasts, and now I'm doing a Jimmy Rants about this because it's just too important. This is the easiest way of eating I have found to date. And yes, it lowers inflammation. Yes, Keto Nana 5, it does. I no longer suffer from inflammation, says Tracy does keto. Right. Change is difficult at best. Jimmy spouting off illogical statements is a disease. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Bonnie Lene, you're so funny today. True addiction is what it is. Can't go by ADA, then you're out. My brother has fatty liver disease. The doctor says he has to eat salads, no meat, some fish, and he's miserable and always hungry. Yeah, when you don't eat enough fat in your diet, you will be hungry. When you're still stoking basically the hunger because the fat is lacking, even if carbs are somewhat minimized, which it sounds like it is in that case, you're still not getting enough fat to satiate you. You're super duper low in calories. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be lethargic. You're going to have all of those things. So if you're just joining us, I am doing this Jimmy Rants today all about the brand new U.S. News and World Report Best Diets edition. They always do this at the end of the year, heading into a new year. They always come out with this report of what they think the best diets are. And for the 8th year in a row, the DASH diet which is a very low fat, very low salt diet, it came in first place for the 8th year in a row. And invariably, every single year I've been blogging / podcasting, they have put low carb, paleo, Atkins, and now keto in last place. And the reason this is a very good thing is the criteria for the best diets is the USDA's Dietary Guidelines, which we want nothing to do with because they've shown to do nothing but make people fatter and sicker than ever before. Darla Daisy says, I'll trade low fat for fat any day. Yeah, yeah. And getting people to wrap their heads around that is the difficult thing. And so it's one reason I remain so passionate in my work about educating people, because they need to hear the truth. And they're not going to get the truth from the U.S. News and World Report, who says the keto is the worst diet you could possibly be on. They're going to get the truth from people like you and I, who have seen great success eating this way, have gotten off of the addiction to carbohydrates, and have now changed our lives forever. BB2781 says they don't want people on keto because they want to keep us sick. And see, that's so whacked to me. I could understand if you are in the medical profession and you make a lot of money doing procedures, but really beyond that, I don't know what the motivation monetarily would be. I suppose if you're a food manufacturer and you make crappy garbage products that you want to keep selling to people, keep them addicted to it and keep them buying it. But to me, that's disgusting. To me, at some point, somebody in the medical profession has to say, enough is enough. First, do no harm. Let's end this madness. And yet it's not happening. Keto Neogenesis, Beth says, DASH diet, psh, dash yourself right to the pharmacy to fill all the scripts to maintain your level of sickness. And yes, it's sickness management. Beth, you're right. It's not actually health. Jesse Bell, keto truth, my life rocks since I found the keto way of living. And it does. It changes people's lives forever. And again, I don't want to be one of those zealots that's a zealot for zealot's sake. I'm a zealot because the freaking diet works. And so why are we bellyaching over the keto diet being in last place on the U.S. News and World Report's best diets list? We know it works. I don't need a list to tell me if something works or doesn't work. It works. That's the bottom line. Robin Walker 6 says, I'm only 5 weeks on keto, and even with not a ton of weight loss, I already feel so much better. How is that the worst diet if you feel great? Exactly, Robin. And that's the thing. I think of enough of us that have seen success eating this way, share with other people, even if you've not, quote, arrived in your journey. You have enough evidence in your own life that you can share with people. And of course, that nutritionist that I quoted earlier will poo-poo, oh, that's all anecdotal and you can't really share. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. And you should. And we should all speak up louder, because there's a movement behind the scenes, guys, with deleting Wikipedia pages, and Pinterest is having a lot of the keto people being deleted. There is a movement to silence people like me from being able to share about this way of eating. And this is unprecedented. I've never seen this in all the years I've been online. I've never seen this kind of attack that's going on, but it's real, which means more and more of us should speak up more. They can't silence us all. Krystal Madison says, I have 2 ruptured discs in my lower back. Went from having trouble getting up and walking to cutting pain pills to 1 or 2 a day and going out every day. Keto has saved me. Krystal, you are a rock star. You keep sharing. Jesse says, my only problem is that I forget to feed my family because I'm not thinking about food. I'm sorry, family. We're going to have a spontaneous period of intermittent fasting today. I just thought I'd let you guys know that. So, yeah, that's no bueno. So the bottom line in this Jimmy Rants today, you guys, is you're going to read and you're going to hear from people that say, oh my gosh, I heard you're on that keto diet. And U.S. News and World Report says it's last place. It's the worst possible diet you could ever be on. And this is when you look at them eye to eye and you go, that's really interesting. So the dietary guidelines is the litmus test. And we've gotten fatter, and we've gotten more diabetes and more heart disease and more cancer and worse in our health with that really, really healthy diet. Okay? So if keto is in last place, it's the opposite of an unhealthy response, I think I'll take that. But thank you for sharing. Really appreciate that. How to Cook with Vesna says people truly believe that anything that tastes so good has to be bad for you. Vesna, that's a whole psychological thing I could do a whole nother Jimmy Rants all about. But you're right. How can bacon possibly be a health food? And it is. How could whole eggs be a health food? And they are. How could butter and coconut oil and full-fat meats and cheeses, because they all taste delicious, how could they possibly be healthy? And it's a mantra we have to get out of. I'm going to definitely do a rant on that one. Thank you for that suggestion. Yay, Krystal, I have degenerative disc disease, 0 pain medications now. Yeah. All right. All right, well, that's it for this episode of Jimmy Rants, you guys. As always, go to jimmyrants.com, and you can get all of how we do this. How we do it is we start off on Instagram. So go follow me on Instagram at Livin' Low Carb Man, LIVINLOWCARBMAN. Once you're there, you can actually engage in the content live with me. I come on about twice a day, and then you can watch the replay there for up to 24 hours. If you don't do Instagram, it's okay. We pop all of these on archive onto YouTube. So go follow me on YouTube. You can just type in Jimmy Rants, and you can find all the past episodes. And then finally, if you like to listen in your car or by audio, we have a Jimmy Rants podcast, which has the best of the best moments of this here show. jimmyrants.com. So until next time, we'll see you then.